All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. Sorry for not making a video in the past couple of days, but I thought with all the situations that were happening in the world, there were things that were much more important to be focusing on than my videos. So I thought taking a couple of days off and let the world kind of reflect over what happened over this weekend, I thought was appropriate. I'm sure none of you would think of that as anything other than, you know, something that should have been done, but, you know, it's up to you if you agree or not. But hey, whatever's happening, we're going to leave the politics aside. Let's just hope good things come out of situations that could have potentially been bad, catastrophic, or world changing, and we'll leave it at that. So, with that being said, I want to wait for a couple of people to see that I am here making a live video. So I want to give a shout out to my Patreon members. We currently have 12 Patreon members. If we can get to 20, I'm going to be doing some giveaways every month when there's at least 20 paid members. So we're close. We're only 8 away. And if you join my Patreon, no matter what amount that you contribute, which could be the minimum of $2 or whatever amount, I always do a shout out to everyone. And if you want me to shout out a YouTube channel or a Facebook page, for example, um, instead of just your first name, please let me know at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. But let's give our shout out to my current Patreon members. We got Carl, we got Sith, we got Scott, we got Michael B, Kevin W, James R, Herbert R, Dan L, Kim N, and Annabelle N. Last two, we have Darth Bleak. So if you have a Facebook page, check him out at Stephen L. Turk Author on his Facebook page. He wrote a book and he's about to write a second. And I want to do a video in the next day or so because I did receive his book. And thank you so much for that. He actually gave me a signed copy and very, very happy about that. So I want to do a video exclusively for that. But I wanted to let Darth Bleak know that I did receive it. And I wanted to thank him personally. I want to do a video. And if anybody's interested in it, I'll give you the information. But contact him at Stephen L. Turk, author, on his Facebook page. And then last but not least, if you have Instagram, check out Silver Age Surfer _comics and tell both of them that We Love Comics sent you because I guarantee you they appreciate anybody coming to visit their Facebook page or their Instagram account. As a matter of fact, Silver Age Surfer, every time somebody follows him on Instagram that says they came from my channel, he lets me know. So, one extra follow may not seem like a big deal to you, but it is to them. So hopefully you'll check them out. All right, the giveaway. Not going to get into the full details, but there's, if you want to pause it at some point, starting at 20 paid members, I'm going to start giving away some unopened baseball packs. And as you see, there's more people that increase, well, not increase, but, increase in numbers. There's different and better giveaways that we're going to give away every single month. So once we can get to 20, we will start that going. So there is no minimum to enter the contest other than what Patreon has for any joining of any member, which is $2 a month. But you'll get one entry for every $2 that you apply to your We Love Comics Patreon membership. And of course, you can change that monthly, but you can check it out at patreon.com/We Love Comics. I'm looking to get a bunch of these comics on the screen here. And I'm going to give you guys a hint for my power viewers and ultra power viewers. I have won one of these books, not via trade, unfortunately. I'm trying to get these via trade to save some money, but I haven't gotten it yet. They haven't mailed it yet, so fingers crossed it's legit. But if everything ends up being what the seller claims it to be, one of the books you see on the screen has been acquired and just waiting delivery, so I cannot wait for that. Didn't have the money to get it, but contacted my mother, and she gave me a birthday present, a Christmas present, or my wife and I's anniversary present as part of the payment to help with this. And my wife was kind enough to contribute the other half. So, of course, I'm going to be paying my wife back for that part, but my mother said the other part's a gift. So, they say they're mailing it out tomorrow. Let's hope this person is legit. He has over 100 sales with 100% rating, so I'm 99% positive, but it's eBay, so you never know. But if you see these on the screen, I am trying to acquire them via trade. It's a way that benefits mutually the two people involved because of the fact that you're not spending any money out of your pocket to acquire a book you may love or books you may love, because I'll trade several books for one of these if necessary. You don't have to worry about paying extra taxes, because I'll tell you right now, the book that I purchased, eBay charged me about $350 to $380 in taxes. That's on top of the price I paid. So you could literally save hundreds of dollars on these bigger issues by doing a trade. And then you don't have to worry about come April 15th with the government with their handout saying, hey, we want a percentage of the things that you're buying and selling. So if you know anybody that has any of these books, contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. I have a video I did about a month or two ago showing all the books that are all graded, by the way. Um, that I would be willing to trade. If I have to trade all of them for one, if it's fair, I will absolutely, at the very least, consider it. I don't mind trading a little bit where you benefit a little bit, but I'm not going to overspend. So, but if you want to make it happen, let's show the world that you can acquire things without having to spend money. But I am so looking forward to the comic that I am going to be receiving, and stay tuned for that. So with that being said, we got Brian in the house. Brian Norman, welcome. We got Pino, good to see you again. Punisher XS, welcome to the live chat. And if you look, speaking of live chat, I did post a link to my website. I do sell comic book mystery boxes anywhere from a basic package that costs $25 and goes all the way up to a platinum package of $5,000. Now, obviously, for a $5,000 package, you're not going to be getting any generic comics. You're going to get key books, you're going to get Golden Age, you're going to get potentially graded books, potentially signed books. There are no guarantees of a specific comic. But if, for example, you prefer more Marvel or more DC, or you prefer it to be mixed, let me know at the time of your purchase, and I will do my best to accommodate. I've done that for many people. So if you want to see some of the unboxings that people do with my purchases, just type in on YouTube, "We Love Comics Mystery Box," and you'll see a couple of people kind enough to do live unboxings. So you can see some of the stuff you'll get. So I got a key book here. Anybody in the live chat, or if you want to pause it later on, if you want to take a guess as to what this book may be, it will basically show who my power viewers and who my ultra power viewers are. This comic is a rare comic. It is a book that I've never owned before this year, and I have now. This will be my fourth one that I've gotten. I've purchased this year. One of them I sold recently on my last auction, so I now still own three. But if you go on eBay, there's only two of them available for sale, and only three have been sold. So this is a rare book, and one that I highly recommend people consider. And the prices that I'm getting for these are getting better and better each time, which is amazing to me. So if you want to make a guess in the live chat what book you think it is, by all means, please do. And then before I tell my price of what I paid for it, I always ask my subscribers or viewers, of course, you don't have to be a subscriber, what would be the highest amount you would pay for the book? So here is the box. Well, they put it in a Gemini mailer, which is fine. They did do the one thing I asked. They did write fragile, please do not bend. They put that all over this, so at least they did that. They didn't mail it in a box, but hey, what are you going to do? You can't always get what you want. And if you know who sings that song, put that in the live chat or in the comment section. I have purchased from this person before, and that's why I have confidence, even though the person didn't show the inside of the book. They did the same thing with the other one, and it ended up being what I thought it was. Rush says New Mutants 98, newsstand Mark Jewelers. Pino says Amazing Spider-Man 238, Mark Jewelers. So we'll see. It could be either one of those, but that does show, at the very least, you guys are paying attention. So good job with that. They did put a nice little note, says thank you, all the best. So this person was very kind. Now this was a best offer with a buy it now. And by the way, if you're watching this, I am going to show a book or books, actually, you should be purchasing based on a rumor that's been going around, which this will be the second time I've told people about getting these books. And if you're a power viewer or an ultra power viewer of mine, power viewer is a person that watches a video of mine from beginning to end that they click on. Ultra power viewer is a person that every video they click on of mine, they'll watch to the beginning of the end. Obviously, it doesn't have to be all in a row. You could pause it a couple of times. But you'll know that I've actually talked about this before. I am usually ahead of the curve. Most people tend to not listen to me. Hey, that's fine. If people don't like me for whatever reason, they don't want to listen to my advice that is going to help you. That's perfectly fine because I'll take advantage of these things. And I know some of you as well will do that. So they did put it in a top loader. They put it in upside down. Now, this book is a lot nicer than the image. Now, it does have one or two minor color breaking creases on it, which I knew about, but the actual edge looks a lot better than the picture. So let's show the book and then we're going to open it because one of the two that made the comment was correct. So survey says, Amazing Spider-Man number 238. It is a newsstand. Now we are going to check because this person did show a bunch of pictures of the inside of the book, but did not show the Mark Jewelers. So we're going to check it. But to be fair, this person, and the reason I had the confidence is, this person I bought from before didn't show them on my X-Men 94. And I took the chance, and lo and behold, it is there. The Mark Jewelers, and most important, because of this book, it does have the tattoos. So this is complete. Now, if you were to type in Amazing Spider-Man number 238, Mark Jewelers, you'll see 3 comics come up. Unfortunately, for somebody that may not be paying attention, one of them is not a Mark Jewelers. It's just the newsstand, which is better, by the way, than the regular version. Because I've told people, and I'll continue to show, I back up what I talk about with books, saying that when I see them and I see an opportunity, I'm going to snag them up. The Mark Jewelers variants are approximately between 5 and 7% of the total print run. What makes this one even rarer is the fact that this also has the temporary tattoos in them, which many people have taken out. So if you look up right now, Amazing Spider-Man number 238, Mark Jewelers variant on eBay, you'll see 3 listings. One of them is not a Mark Jewelers, it's just the newsstand, so I don't know why it comes up as a Mark Jewelers. One of them is, I believe, a 7.5, and the other is a 2.0 signed but restored because it has color touch on it. So Pino says, I bought the same book from the same buyer. He had 2. I only had money to buy 1. I'm glad you got the other one. Because I'm going to show you, remember, about, 2 weeks ago? I got this one. And remember, because it has a faded cover, I paid for that one $336.52. Because this is probably, I don't know how they'll grade it, but I said probably between 5.5 and a 6.5, because everything else looks pretty nice. But as you can see the difference, there is no fading on this one. So this one's in much better grade, but I'm going to get both of those graded next month. I highly recommend getting this book. Newsstand is great, but also the fact that this has the tattoos makes this one a lot harder to find complete. Now, this isn't a that is a newsstand, but this isn't a Mark Jewelers. This is a newsstand. I do have a Mark Jewelers. One of them I sold in the auction, but I do have a second one. This, again, is just a regular newsstand, but this doesn't have any tattoos or anything in it. So, yes, the New Mutants 98 is going to be rarer, and obviously that's the first appearance of Deadpool. It's going to be rare, but it's most likely not going to be as rare as this book because it has the additional tattoos in it, which many people took out. Now, most people think that that little like postcard thing you saw in the back of the book is the tattoos. It's not. The last page of this book that is part of the comic book is actually the tattoos. Most people think it's that thing that says tattoos inside, that little like 3x5 card. It's not. It's the last page where you see the spider and all the other images on the actual page. You're supposed to clip that out, moisten them, and then place them on your skin, and it will show the tattoos. So many people took those out or cut those out, rendering many of these books, even the Mark Julius variants, into qualified books. So if you can find this book, and this isn't the book I'm recommending because there's another book that I'm going to do after this that I highly recommend. And again, it's going to be the second time I've told people about this book. Let's go over the price first. So this one, it looks a lot better than I thought it was going to be. There is that one or two. There is a hairline color break increase near the bottom. Blunt edge, left-hand side of, well, where the spine is. Overall, I would say this is probably, after a pressing and dry cleaning, probably between an 8 and a 9. So, with that being said, if you were able to buy this book, now obviously somebody would love to buy this book for $100. You're not getting it for $100. What would you put in the live chat, or later on if you want to pause it and put it in a comment? What would be the highest you would be happily able to spend on this book if you had the money to where you would have been happy at that price? Now, of course, include the, well, you don't have to include the shipping and handling and taxes, but if you do, let me know. So, like I said, this book, which you could see, that's from the last time, is also a newsstand Mark Julius variant. It also has the tattoos, but it's been, somebody obviously hung this up either, at a comic book shop at some point or hung it on their wall and it got faded because of sunlight. I paid $336.52 for this one. This one's going to be in much higher grade, like I said, between an 8 and a 9. We can go even as low as 7.5 just to make sure. What would be the most you would pay for this book? Put it in the live chat, put it in the comment section if you're watching it later. So, again, Mark Julius variant has the tattoos, is a pretty darn rare book. This is the first appearance of the Hobgoblin. Now, there have been rumors, and it makes sense what they did with the last Spider-Man movie, that Hobgoblin is going to be appearing possibly in the next Spider-Man movie. Now, the reason I say it's most likely because anything can change. Remember in the scene where all three Spider-Men are, getting ready to make the cures for each enemy they're going to face at the end? And Ned Leeds, who is the one that becomes the Hobgoblin in the comics, is talking to the original Peter Parker about his life, and he talked about how he had to kill his best friend. And then Ned Leeds goes up to the MCU's version of Spider-Man and says, I swear to you, I'll never turn against you and all this other stuff, which he thought was strange to hear his friend say that. But at the end of the movie, remember, they all have amnesia and forgot who Spider-Man is, which can set up any kind of situation where Ned Leeds can end up being the Hobgoblin and go after Peter Parker with no problem. Because the problem would have been, well, they're best friends. What would be the motivation for him to turn on him? Well, now that they've had it where all of the MCU has forgotten who, Peter Parker is and doesn't know the identity of Spider-Man, that leads credence to that situation. So, of course, nothing is ever guaranteed until it is on screen because even things they can film can get cut. Remember, and I'll say this all the time, remember in the original Deadpool 1, there was supposed to be a Mega Red. They actually shot scenes, but because of budget situations, they had to cut it out. So until it's on the movie screen, there is no guarantee, but high probability. When do you want to buy a book? Do you want to buy a book before a confirmation happens if it does? during the confirmation or afterwards? Which one do you think you're going to get the best deal? These aren't cheap, but you can still, if you can find them and make deals happen, can get them for a lot less than what they'll be if that confirmation ends up happening. And of course, I can't guarantee it, but as you can see, like I said, this is now my 4th copy. One of them I'm waiting to come back from being graded. Here's the other one I bought last week. The best one I had, which ended up being a 9.2, was sold during my live auctions, but they haven't made payments yet because they're doing a payment plan. So I'll show you. Give me a second. Right here. Oh, it was a 9.4, not a 9.2. So here was the other one, and you can see newsstand, Mark Jewelers. So just so you can see, 3 of them. Where did I put the other one? Okay. 3 of them in my possession. One of them is no longer mine, even though they haven't finished paying for it yet. It will be somebody else's. Put that away. So just to show I don't make up stories and stuff like that. All right, so we have, hey, who dat? Good to see you. So Punisher says he would pay to 700 pounds for this book, which in US dollars would probably be about 800. So with $700, you're probably paying about 150 in taxes and then whatever shipping. Now, you guys know I always make deals happen. This is a person that I've dealt with before, so they know I'm going to pay right away. I am on very friendly terms. This person made a deal with me that I'm very happy about. I would have bought this at the asking price, but because they did a best offer, and I worked with them before, and I said, hey, if you accept my offer, I'll pay for it right now like I did the last time, which, by the way, I did. Don't say you're going to do something and not do it. The last time that person sold me a book, which was a X-Men 94 Mark Jewelers, I did pay right away. So they accepted my offer. So even at 452, that's almost half of what Punisher said he would be paying for it. He agreed, or she, I don't know if the person's male or female, especially these days, agreed to a price of $350. So after shipping and handling and after eBay taxes, I paid $383.01 for this book. Trade Paper Dad says, wow, 700 pounds sterling. Oh, okay, converts to 900. Yeah, and that would be about what this comic would go for graded. Because if you look right now on eBay, now, of course, anybody can list anything for any price, but if you go to the sold, I believe there was a graded 7.5 that sold for $1,500. Because remember, this is a rare book. Now, if it was the regular Hobgoblin, regular standard edition, you'd be crazy to spend 900. You would be crazy to spend 900 unless it was a super high grade like a 9.6, 9.8 for a newsstand. But to have the newsstand Mark Jewelers variant with the tattoos intact, and like I said, this is probably between an 8 and a 9. Could be even higher. It depends. I mean, obviously, I'm just looking at the front cover. I'd have to check the whole thing. 900 for this book is paying about fair market value and actually paying under. Because, like I said, if somebody wants to confirm it, I believe a 7.5 is listed right now for approximately $1,500. But I do believe a 7.5 was purchased for around $1,300-$1,400. So this, in my opinion, is a little bit higher of a grade. We'll see when I get it graded. But to pay 900 for this, you'd actually be paying below fair market value of what people have been paying. But I make deals. So $383.01 after taxes and shipping for Amazing Spider-Man 238 newsstand Mark Jewelers variant with the tattoos included. So, like I said, there's only 2 of them available for sale on eBay right now. And 3 of them have been sold on eBay. 2 of the 3 have been from my purchases of most recent. And for some reason, They don't have the third one that I had listed on there. I don't know why. Um, Pino says he wasn't as flexible with me. Yeah, that can honestly, it really depends on how you communicate with people. Um, I am, and I'm not saying you're not friendly or anything, but maybe he contacted me first, um, and just enjoyed the conversations. I don't know. I like to get into conversations with people. I like to be extremely friendly. I like to be a person that backs up what they say. If I say I'm going to pay for something right away, I pay for it as soon as I get the acceptance. But hey, if he sold you one of them, that's great. Um, if you want to tell everybody, I mean, I'll leave it up to you, Pino, and I'll mention it if you list it. What book did you buy, and what price did you pay? If you want to mention it, if you don't, that's perfectly fine. I respect that. And we got Silver Age Surfer underscore comics. So this is now technically my fourth copy, but like I said, I sold one of them, the 9.4, just waiting for the person because they said they need the 1 to 2 year payment plan to pay it off, which I had no problem with. So technically now I have only three, but I've owned none of these before this year, so I acquired all four this year. If you can get your hands on this book, make it happen. Because like I said, if Ned Leeds does become the Hobgoblin, this book is going to increase in value. Now, of course, some will say, what about the first appearance of Ned Leeds, which is Amazing Spider-Man number 18, I believe. It's either 17 or 18. Yeah, it's 18 because 17 is the first appearance of Green Goblin's glider. So, first appearance of Ned Leeds is 18. That'll go up as well, but more people are going to care about Hobgoblin because Ned Leeds is already in the MCU. Hobgoblin isn't. So the other one may see a little bit of an increase, but because he's already been introduced in the MCU and, he's not a major, Ned Leeds himself is not a major character. I wouldn't waste my money on that book unless you can get a great deal on it. Or, if you like collecting Spider-Man books and you're creating a run, for example, then yeah, it's always a good deal. Or if you just want to read it, there's always a good deal on that. Pino says Amazing Spider-Man 238 for 425, 600 Canadian. Well, there you go. I think maybe because you live in Canada, it might have cost him extra for shipping. I don't know if he charged you extra for the shipping. He might have eaten that cost. But still, do you have was it also a Mark Jewelers? And what grade would you have predicted? Because even if that's a 5.0, 425 is a pretty decent price. And again, when I make my investment choices, I don't base it on where it is. I don't base it on where it was. I base it on where it's going. And when there are rumors saying that Ned Leeds is going to turn into the Hobgoblin, and the last movie pretty much can set that up as a possibility, chances are more likely than none that it's going to happen. Whether it does remains to be seen, whether it's good remains to be seen. But as far as I understand, the character that has been playing Ned Leeds has been supposedly rumored to be really working out, getting himself in shape. Because I mean, they can't have you know, a plus-sized hobgoblin. Let's just leave it that way. As DEI as Disney is, even they have to draw a line at a certain point. So Pino does say it is a Mark Jewelers, and he says he thinks it's at least a 7.0. Well, like I said, if you look right now, a graded 7.5 is listed at 1,400, almost 1,500, and I think somebody bought a 7.5 for around 1,400 or 1,500. So if you got it at 425, you got a deal. So congratulations on that. And I just, make deals happen, be flexible, be willing to walk away. And sometimes I'm willing to do that. So you got a really good deal. Mine just got a little better. But hey, all that means is in the end, if things happen the way they're supposed to, I'll just make a little bit more profit. But hey, you're still going to make a good profit. You'll triple your money easily. So congratulations, Pino, on that. All right, so let's show the other books. Now, again, I was showing and talking about this in previous videos. So when you see these, some of you might say, yeah, I remember you talking about that. I'm always ahead of the curve. Most people, for some reason or whatever, don't want to listen to me. That's perfectly fine. I bought these years ago. I'm talking about when I was living in New York years ago. So I bought these about 5 or 6 years ago. Each one of these has between 5 and 6 signatures on each one. I highly recommend getting this series. It's 13 books altogether. Right now, there are rumors that the Russo brothers are going to be coming back to film Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. Avengers 6 has been, unless they change it, confirmed to be Secret Wars. They're now saying that Avengers 5 is going to be Avengers vs. the X-Men. Now, of course, that at this point is a rumor. It has not been confirmed. It can change. But, again, you want to buy books before an announcement is made, because if it doesn't happen, you don't tend to spend as much. If it does happen, you're going to make a heck of a deal when you turn around and sell them. Now, if you look, this is issue number 0. I don't have issue 1, not because I don't have it. It's because that one I sent in to get graded a couple of months back. I think it came back a 9.6, so it's somewhere in one of my boxes. I just didn't really feel like getting it out. But it starts with issue 0. Now, you can see there are several signatures on this book. One there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. Now, just to show you, this person that bought these from, I bought them from, gave me a list of each book and the people that signed it. So it's pretty much the same. So, Avengers vs. X-Men 0, first print, signed by 5 people. Oliver Copiel, Jimmy Cheung, Frank Cho, Jason Aaron, and Jonathan Hickman. The ones that have signed by 6, which is almost all of them, there's like maybe 3 or 4 of them that are 5, but Laura Martin is the other person. Another one has Matt Fraction. Let me see if there's any different ones. Jonathan Hickman, I already said. No Stan Lee, unfortunately. But each one, I mean, I'll go over it. X-Men, Avengers vs. X-Men 0, signed by 5. Issue 1, signed by 6. 2, signed by 5. 3, signed by 5. 4, signed by 5. 5, signed by 6. 6, signed by 6. 7, signed by 6. 8 by 6. 9 by 5. 10 by 6. 11 by 6, and 12 by 5. So each one of these has been signed between 5 and 6 of the artists. And you can see the signatures. Now, again, because I bought these years ago, let me ask you guys, for the entire set, because it did include issue number 1, these are all first prints. There are variants of these too to look out for. This is the regular edition, but there are some where it's half black and white. I have a 9.8 triple signed CGC 9.8 with Stan Lee's signature on it. I think I paid $125 for that, but that was in like 2017 when I bought that book. What would you have paid? So it's 0 through 12, so 13 comics, all signed between 5 and 6 artists and writers on every single issue. What would be the price you'd pay, especially now that you know, again, it's a rumor, that Avengers 5 could potentially be Avengers vs. X-Men? In the live chat or in the comment section, if you're watching this later, what would be the price that you would have paid for this? Now, of course, there are no certificates of authenticity, but I do my due diligence when I look at signed books. And I looked up when I bought this, well, before I bought it, I looked up the signatures. And the best way to do it is find any graded company that has a witnessed graded version of that signature and just compare it. Now, obviously, somebody could make a forgery, but the chances of 5 and 6 different signatures being forged, I mean, like I said, I already got the first one graded, the first issue, not issue 0, but the number 1 issue, and they were all confirmed. What would you have paid for these? I don't remember what the total is. The Silver Age Surfer says 325. Pino says 300. I paid $16.07 each comic. So let's do a calculator. All right, so let's pull up my calculator. I paid $16.07 each. We'll times that by 13. I paid and this is after shipping and handling taxes. I paid a grand total of $208.91 for this entire run. And these are between 9.6s and 9.8s. They're all high grade. All signed with 5 to 6 artists on every single one. So the minimum amount of signatures on each one is 5. So each month, I think starting not this month, possibly, I'll see. But starting next month, I think each month I'm going to include one of these so I can get the entire run graded. Now, just imagine if all 13 books come back between 9.6s and 9.8s, how much I could turn around and sell that for. Now, remember, even though PGX has charged me now $50 to get books graded, it still includes signature verification. Now, you're talking, it's about $15 to $18 for one signature, and then I think it's about $10 per signature. So I'm saving in grading fees. Let's see, about $65 just in signature verification for each one of these. So I am looking forward to that, and hopefully a couple of them will come back 9.8s. But hey, if they're all 9.6s, that's fine. But these I highly recommend. And again, look up the variant versions because you can still get them cheap. Now you probably are not going to be able to get them the price that I paid, especially now that they've had these rumors confirmed. You know what's going to happen. People are going to start selling these for a lot more expensive. And that's why I tell people you want to get these things beforehand. Now, how many of you remember a couple of months back a video where I was telling people that I highly recommend getting these books because I can see where the MCU was headed? How many people actually bought them? Now, if you didn't buy them then and you now want to buy them now that you got at least not confirmation, but at least the rumor that this is going to happen, you're now going to spend a lot more money. Those that wait at that point until it ends up confirmed, if it is going to spend even more money. So this is why I try and tell people, just because I make a prediction doesn't guarantee I'm always right. But if you follow my track record, I'm right more times than I'm wrong. And unfortunately, the comic book community will never, ever give me credit. But my videos speak for themselves. If somebody wants to search for that video where I show these, you could post a link just to prove it. I don't say something without backup, and all my videos are up for you to see. So I highly recommend, getting these books, even unsigned versions of them, you can get pretty cheap. But to get them every issue of the run signed by between 5 and 6 people, for $16 a piece. I mean, just imagine you have had how much to spend to go to a comic book store or a Comic-Con. Because who knows if these all got signed the same day? What are the odds of 5 and 6 people? And obviously, if it's 5 or 6 each time on different books, that means it's probably been different times this person has gotten these signatures. Because if all 6 people were at one Comic-Con, why would he have some of the books only signed by 5 and the others signed by 6? So just imagine how much money this person might have spent. And that's not including, do these artists charge for their signatures? This is why I love eBay. I didn't have to waste gas to go to a Comic-Con or several Comic-Cons. I didn't have to spend the entrance fee, parking fees, transportation fees, signature fees, and soon to be verification signature fees, which means this I could probably, if the movie rumors end up happening, and these come back, knock on wood, between 9.6s and 9.8s, all with confirmed signature graded books, I could probably sell this set for $2-3 grand. And I could sell it if they make an announcement that it's confirmed at some point, which gives people plenty of time before the movie comes out to make profit on their own. But the idea is you want to buy things beforehand. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I've been ahead of the curve sometimes for years. When Fox didn't even sell the rights to Disney, I was telling people to buy certain books back then because I knew where things were going. You can go back to my videos when I was living in New York. I was telling people that when Daredevil finally comes to the MCU, he's going to be paired with She-Hulk. And I explain why. Because they were both lawyers in Hell's Kitchen. People used to laugh at me at this stuff. Now, I would have never predicted DEI and the nonsense of what they did with She-Hulk back then, because that was probably 2016, 2017 before this stuff became normalized. But I got so many things right ahead of time. That's why, people used to ask me, how come you don't do these videos of comics to buy anymore? It's because I was doing them, and you could check my videos. I was doing them back in 2016 and 2017, years before everybody else. So you could still go back to videos I made 6, 7 years ago and see me talking about books that are still books you could buy today. But you'll pay a heck of a lot more now than you would have back then. That's why, for example, I have so many Hulk 180s. It's because I was telling people back then, when everybody was hating on Fox before they decided to sell, that's the best time to buy them. I bought several copies under $100. My Fantastic Four number 49s. Several of them I paid about between $65 and $80 a piece on. Mid-grade books. Like, to be fair, between 3.5 and 5. You can't get that now. A 5 is probably going to cost you about $800 at this point. And they still haven't put out the Fantastic Four yet. They still have not put out Silver Surfer yet. And they still have not put out Galactus yet. So even those have still room to grow. So I'm trying to steer people into helping themselves become financially independent. You can make more money on comic books than probably the best person that trades on the markets can. Because the average person, if they make 5% markup on their stocks, they're doing pretty good. With comics, you could literally make hundreds of dollars, well, hundreds of percentages higher than what you paid if you buy things right. I mean, for example, I was telling people back in 2017 to buy up all the Ultimate Fallout 4s and all the Edge of Spider-Verse 2s you can get your hands on. I was buying them between $10 and $12 a piece. And unfortunately, only one of them ever came back in 9.8. But one of them did come back in 9.8. I paid $12 for that book at max, $10 at minimum. You don't think I'd be able to sell that book now for 1,000? Let's say with the prices gone down a little bit, let's say 800. Let's say I sell it for 500. I'm making a heck of a lot of profit. But anybody selling that book now is crazy. I sold some because, I needed to make some money and I had so many copies I can afford to get rid of one or two and make other people happy, even though I could have waited. You know, Miles Morales is coming to the MCU. That book is going to skyrocket unless they screw it up or they don't do it. But it's all about timing. So you can ignore these. You can say, oh, well, I don't like Chris. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like what he talks about. I don't like what other people say about him or whatever. That's fine. People that listen have thanked me over the years of how much money they've made from my advice, which, by the way, I don't charge you for. You don't have to join my Patreon to get this advice. I ask people to join my Patreon if you want to help support my channel. There is no exclusive content there because I give away everything freely. And it's still up on my channel for you to verify. I don't ask for anything. I get a lot of hatred. I get a lot of people ignoring it. Okay. But time and time again, you'll see. And I'll give you an example. I'm not going to go into numbers. But if you've seen my auctions that I've done, there is not one comic that I have sold where I lost money or broke even. Every single comic I've sold, and if you guys have watched my channel and watched my auctions, I've sold books like Daredevil #1, Hulk 181, Fantastic Four, 49. Amazing Spider-Man, 14. Amazing Spider-Man 6. It's all about timing. So if you want to listen to those that have comic book stores and convince you that the latest variant is going to be that success because they'll hide a bunch of books and make it seem rare and they'll sell instantly for $3, $4, $500, and then 6 months later you couldn't even sell it in the dollar bin. If you want to listen to those people because they're more popular, by all means, please do. I have nothing to gain from you listening or not listening. I do it because I want to help you succeed. And anybody that's ever listened to my advice, if you want to back it up by putting a message in the comment section or in the live chat if you're here live, you know, let people know. I'm not here to take advantage or lie to people or mislead or make up false rumors. People didn't believe me when I was saying back in 2016, 2017 that I had inside information. Well, go look at those videos that I was talking about books to buy. Was I not ahead of the curve by years of everybody else who ignored me, who laughed at me, and to this day still do the same thing? So anyway, the book in the beginning of this, if you didn't see it, Amazing Spider-Man number 238, Mark Julas variant with the tattoos, paid a grand total of $383.01 for this. Going to be getting this graded. Highly recommend to get this book. Does have the tattoos intact. And the books I highly recommend. And again, look for the variants as well. Avengers vs. X-Men, this is 0 through 13. No, 0 through 12. So there are 13 comics in the run. Get them while you can. So if you like this, you can hit the thumbs up. If you don't like it, you can hit the thumbs down. If you want to let me know what you thought about the AI art, always appreciate people's opinions. Join my Patreon at patreon.com/WeLoveComics. Get your name up on the board. And if we can get to at least 20 paid members, I'm going to start doing some giveaways. So right now we're stuck at 12. Let's see if we can get to 20 and beyond. The more people that join in, the better the prizes will be. And one entry for every $2 you put into the Patreon account. Again, you can adjust that from month to month. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Let's see if I can get one of the trades. And like I said, if you weren't here before, I just won on eBay. I made a deal with a person. They actually had to relist this comic twice with no buyers before they finally sent me an offer, which was higher than what I was asking for, but is, let's just say, at least $1,000 less than what somebody else is selling the exact same grade for, that they say is going to be mailing tomorrow. Now, I'm taking my chance with this one, but this person has at least 100 sales and he has a 100% rating, he or she. So I'm pretty sure that this is legit. But one of the books you see that I'm looking for a trade, I've made a purchase on. So if you want to make a guess, I'm not going to tell you. But if you want to make a guess, you could leave it in the live chat or in the comment section. But one of the books that you see on this screen right now that I'm looking to acquire via trade, I have been able to purchase, thanks to my mother and wife, by the way, because they made it happen. So if you have any of these books, because even if somebody wants to trade a book that I just bought and I end up with a second one, I have no problem with that. But if you have or know anybody that has any of these books and would like to do a trade where they can acquire books without spending money, without having to pay literally hundreds of dollars in taxes, and have the government not be anywhere near this because they cannot tax you on trades, contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. Jeremy says, I can't believe it's been long as it has watching you since you've been in New York. Yeah, tell me about it. I actually started my channel at the end of 2015. I shut my channel down in the beginning of 2017 due to a bunch of haters and a bunch of people I thought were my friends who backstabbed me. And then about 6 months later, I came back and I've been doing it ever since. And I was trying to help people. I was trying to give. See, my thing is, I'm different than most people when it comes to their videos. And that's probably why some people gravitated to me so quickly. But unfortunately, I created a lot of jealous people for whatever reason. But that didn't change the fact that I wanted to help people. And just look at my track record. Look at the recommendations. Go to my videos over 5 years ago, over 6 years ago, that I'm talking about books you must buy now. You'll see book after book that some people are still recommending to this day. I was 7 years ahead of the curve, and people didn't listen then. So when I make a recommendation, I cannot guarantee it. But if you look at my track record, I probably have about a 92 to 95% track record on key issue comics that you should buy. That if you would have bought them at those times, you would have made a poop ton of money at this point. So if you have not seen my older videos, they're still relevant today. And that's why I don't make videos now about talking about what books to buy, other than like books like this when there's an announcement. But then again, if you watch videos I made months ago, I've already talked about this book before the rumors even began. So I know what I'm talking about. But if you want to listen to others because they have bigger formats, they're more popular, and they have, better productions in their videos, by all means, please do. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment after the beep, and let's do today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. You don't have to be a subscriber, but if you want to hit subscribe, that's great. You just have to be leaving at least one comment in the live chat. So we're going to go with Pino because you did basically the most of the comments. We're going to go with Pino, and we're going to go with Trade Paper Dad, which, by the way, if you're still here, Trade Paper, I did get the, oh no, I'm sorry. Darth Bleak is the one that gave me the book. So, if you're watching Darth Bleak, I did get your book. I want to do a video showing it, but I wanted to do that separate, and I wanted to thank you. But Trade Paper Dad and Pino, both of you are today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. You guys know what to do at this point. You've been here so many times. Um, Go check out my Patreon. We Love Comics / Patreon. Join up. $1 for one entry for every $2 that you put in. And check out one of my mystery packages. I put the link in the live chat where I have anywhere from a $25 mystery box up to a $5,000 mystery box. You're going to get some good books in the 5,000. You're going to get good books in the diamond $1,500 one. You're going to get good comics in the gold. Just basically the basic one, you're just going to get generic readable comics. But, as they say, you get what you pay for. But I will guarantee, even at the minimum one, the $25 mystery box, you will get face value worth more than what you would have if you would have bought these on your own the day they came out. So I guarantee that it will be worth more than the $25 you pay in the retail value of those books and maybe collectability. So thanks for watching, everybody. I would love to hear your comments and let me know about these books. What do you think? Don't forget, it's not you. It is not I. It is We Love Comics. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And don't forget to have your troll.